all you beautiful people. I'm Terry, better known as Mr. White Keys, and today I've got something I'm super excited to talk about. These are the new frames that I just got. These are T Henri Tirrenos. These are part of a collaboration with T Henri and Mararo, which is an Italian suit designer that's very famous in Europe. We'll talk about the only 9-barrel hinge that I've ever seen in the eyewear industry, and we'll talk about the details on the core wire. There are all sorts of very exciting aspects of these frames that I'm anxious to share with you. So we've got a great show for you today. Don't go anywhere. So if I look happy, it's because I am. And I'm happy because I'm officially on vacation. So we're gonna spend some quality time together. Today I'm reviewing one of the most extraordinary pieces in my collection. The Tirreno is a collaboration between Tyler Henri and Mararo, the famed Italian tailor known for dressing royalty, celebrities, and world-class athletes. Their goal was to merge fashion, tailoring, and luxury materials into a frame that feels sartorial, almost like a handmade suit for your face. The model name Tirreno is inspired by Mar Tirreno, the Tyrrhenian Sea, one of the 6 seas surrounding Italia. In fact, on the packaging, you'll find the inscription Sei Mari, which is short for Sei Mari d'Italia, which is the 6 seas of Italy. This eyewear isn't just a frame, it's geography, heritage, and craftsmanship woven together. The Capri colorway is absolutely jaw-dropping. It's a deep blue that shifts toward purple depending on the light, reminiscent of the Tyrrhenian Sea at dusk. Pair that with 24-karat gold accents, including Mararo's signature coining work on the core wire, visible through the outer clear acetate window, and you get a frame that looks alive. This is not a typical blue frame. It's moody, rich, saturated, and luxurious, and because it is made in a limited run of only 199 pieces, it has that collector's item presence the moment you pick it up. The gold flash mirror is where the magic happens. It ties the lenses directly to the 24-karat gold hardware on the frame and the core wire. When light hits the mirror, you get this beautiful warm shimmer like golden sunlight on deep blue water. This is one of the reasons I say eyewear is wearable art, because details like this elevate an already beautiful piece into something absolutely sculptural. I also added an extra active brown transition, and this is very important. Extra active is the only photochromic that actually gets dark behind the windshield. And so I wanted these to serve as sunglasses when I'm driving and not have to carry another pair of sunglasses. Gen S, Photo Fusion X, these don't work behind the windshield because they are responding to UV light, and windshields block UV light. However, the extra active transition responds to visible light and is able to darken to a category 2 sunglass even behind the windshield. And it also performs well in the heat. That's perfect for somebody like me that lives in the desert. So the glasses I'm wearing now, the glasses we're going to talk about today, are made by T Henri. It's a collaboration between T Henri and Mararo. Mararo is a famous suit maker in Italy, and they got together, they designed these glasses. They call these the Tirreno. The Tirreno is named after the Tyrrhenian Sea in Italy, better known as Mar Tirreno. So one of the things that you'll notice about the case for the T Henri Tirrenos is that on the inscription on the inside of the case and also on the box, it says Sei Mari, which is Italian for the 6 seas. This is referring to the 6 seas that border Italy. So before we get into the eyewear itself, I want to share a detail that makes the T Henri Tirreno even more meaningful, a detail rooted in Italian geography and heritage. The inscription Sei Mari means the 6 seas, Sei Mari d'Italia, and these 6 seas surround Italy like a natural frame. Each one has its own history, character, and culture behind it. And one of them, Mar Tirreno, or the Tyrrhenian Sea, is the inspiration for the Tirreno frame. So let's take a quick journey around Italy and meet Sei Mari d'Italia. Mar Ligeri, the Ligurian Sea. This sea borders the Italian Riviera, home to places like Genoa, Portofino, and Cinque Terre. It's known for dramatic cliffs, deep blue water, and some of Italy's most picturesque scenes. Il Mar Tirreno, or the Tyrrhenian Sea, is the inspiration for these frames, and it's one of the most culturally rich waters in Europe. It stretches along Italy's western coast, touching Toscana or Tuscany, Lazio, which includes Rome, Campania, home of Naples and the Amalfi Coast, Calabria, Sicilia or Sicily, Sardinia or Sardinia. And here's what makes Il Mar Tirreno especially interesting. Historically, it was the center of ancient Mediterranean trade routes. The seafloor shows dramatic volcanic activity, including areas connected to Mount Vesuvius and the Aeolian Islands, where Stromboli and Vulcano still erupt today. The water is unusually deep for the Mediterranean, giving it a rich, intense blue-purple hue, similar to the frames that were inspired by them. It's a sea that's bold, dramatic, elegant, exactly the qualities reflected in the eyewear that carries its name. Next is the Mar Adriatico, or the Adriatic Sea. To the east of Italy, the Adriatic separates the Italian peninsula from Croatia, Slovenia, and the Balkans. It's long, narrow, calm, and historically important for Venetian trade. Then we have Mar Ionio, or the Ionian Sea. South of Italy, the Ionian Sea is deep, warm, and crystal clear. It borders Sicily and Calabria, and it's known for some of the Mediterranean's most beautiful turquoise water. Mar di Sardegna, the Sea of Sardinia. West of Sardinia, the sea is open, powerful, and windswept. It's a favorite for sailing and windsurfing, and rugged coastlines and intensely clear water. Mar di Sicilia, or the Sea of Sicily. South of Sicily, this sea connects Italy to North Africa. It's historically significant because ancient Mediterranean cultures, Greek, Roman, Phoenician, and Egyptian, all crossed this sea. So when you see the inscription Sei Mari on the Tirreno collection, it's more than a phrase. It's a celebration of Italy's geography, its maritime heritage, and its connection to craftsmanship. And naming the frame Tirreno is fitting because, like the Tyrrhenian Sea, this eyewear is bold, luxurious, and unmistakably Italian in spirit, especially the Capri colorway, a deep blue that looks like the sea at dusk, accented with 24 karat gold, just like sunlight glinting on the waves. So there are a couple of things that I want to show you, and you saw this probably in the unboxing video, but this is the case that they give you. It's a genuine leather case that's custom made in Italy. It has that, oh my goodness, it has that smell of leather that's absolutely just unmistakably T Henri. Now it has a snap that's on the front that reveals the logo showing the T Henri and Mararo collaboration. It also has a piece inside for the nose bridge. That's where the nose bridge sits when you put the glasses away. And then, of course, it has this ginormous cleaning cloth that is like a very heavy silk. And on the cloth, it says Sei Mari, which refers to Sei Mari d'Italia, or the 6 seas that surround Italy. The one word I can think of that describes this entire unboxing experience with the Tirrenos, it's substantial. The whole thing feels substantial. When I first picked up the box, as a matter of fact, on the box, you can see it was 3 pounds. So as a point of reference, when you're shipping a pair of glasses, it usually rates at 0.6 pounds. This box was 3 pounds. So that includes the very substantial weight of this case. So the case is pretty heavy. The cloth inside of it is heavy. And then of course these frames are incredibly thick. You can see how thick the temple arms are. The temple arms are almost 10 millimeters most of the way back. And then they taper off. These frames are just, I've never felt a heavier frame, but I've never felt a frame that's lighter on the face. When you put it on your face, the weight just disappears. And part of the magic has to do with these counterweights that are behind the ears, that places some of the weight behind the ears. Part of the magic is the 3-dimensional sculpting of the temple arms that actually manage the weight in such a way that it's so perfectly balanced that the weight disappears when you put it on your face. Other things about the case itself. On the case itself, I've got these 3 slots where I can put driver's license, credit cards, things like that. And you can just grab this case and go with it. Another thing it has is these belt loops. So you can open these belt loops and put this on your belt, sort of like a fanny pack, which is kind of interesting. I don't use it that way, but it's just really neat. And then on each of the buttons, it has the T Henri logo. And then of course the T Henri logo is also on the front as well. So very cool case, very substantial cleaning cloth. Remember when I did a review of the Versace's that are almost $800 frames and they don't even give you a cleaning cloth? Not so with T Henri. T Henri takes care of you. Now, let's take a closer look at the frames themselves. So one of the things I love most about these glasses is I love you can see the 24 karat gold coining work on the temple arm, on the core wire. So this colorway is called the Capri colorway, which is like a deep, deep blue, almost purple, and it really makes the 24 karat gold accents pop. To that, I added a gold flash mirror, which you can see on the front. And because the extra active brown transition is activated, you can see the gold a lot more clearly. So it almost becomes more of a full gold mirror. That's a very interesting effect. Now, the reason why I chose brown instead of gray is because the brown really complements not only the purple, but it also complements the golds. When you get that brown transition behind the gold flash mirror, it really brings out a great color in the flash mirror. So there are a number of things that are interesting about this piece. First of all, I want to call your attention to the fact that we've got some beveling that's here on the brow line, and it kind of angles the light out towards you, which actually maximizes the gloss look of the glasses. It really makes these glasses pop. There's also a lot of beveling all around the rest of the glasses, and also on the rim wire, you can see the beveling. It's sort of a sunken rim wire. Another thing I think that's very interesting is the paddle temples, and you can see there's a micro pattern in the paddle temples, almost sort of like an Art Deco pattern that helps the temple arms to be sort of a non-slip temple arm. So even though this is a lot of acetate, it's like a 10 millimeter thick acetate on the frame front and almost as thick on the, actually it appears to be 10 millimeters thick on the temple arms as well. But in any case, even though this is a lot of acetate, it feels like a very heavy frame, but when you put it on your face, the weight seems to disappear, and that's because these are so well balanced, and it also has a lot to do with those paddle temple arms that I was just talking about. Now, these originally come as sunglasses, but I switched those lenses out for a set of prescription lenses. These are Trivex lenses. It is an IoT endless progressive, and to that I added a Bluebell 23% to clear tint. And the reason I did that is because I have this gold flash mirror on the front, but in order for people to be able to see my eyes, you have to be careful about the tint that you put behind it, because if I went with what I normally do is about a 35% tint, if I put a 35% tint here, no one would be able to see my eyes at all. Now, the reason you can't see my eyes now is because I'm looking into the sun. The extra active brown transition is activated. The IoT Endless Progressive Lens gives you a fantastic field of vision. Looking out through these at the world, it gives you just a great view of the world. It has a wide field of vision, and it is also a great bang for your buck as compared to a Zeiss lens or a Shamir lens, which cost considerably more. I'm very happy with the IoT Endless Progressive lenses. I've been using them for quite some time, and I absolutely love them. It almost makes you feel like the lenses somehow know what it is that you're looking at. So if you're looking at your phone, or if you're looking at an iPad, or if you're looking at your computer, it just seems to know what you need. You don't really have to think about it. You don't have to purposefully like tilt your head in any particular direction. So I really love the IoT Endless lenses. Now, another thing that I noticed rather recently about these glasses is, my first hint was that you can see the 6 decorative screws that attach the temple arm to the frame front. And what I realized is that, of course, there's a view of the temple lug. But in any case, what I realized about that is that means that these are not attached to the frame front, they're actually part of the frame front. And what that means is, in order to produce a pair of glasses like this, they would actually, instead of using a typical tablet that would be the width of the frame front, in this case 10 millimeters, they'd actually have to do 24 millimeters because that extra piece extends another 14 millimeters beyond the frame front. They would have had to have milled this from a 24 millimeter block, which is really something interesting. I think it's just their way of kind of telling the rest of the eyewear industry, hey, try and keep up. T Henri makes absolutely amazing frames, and there are so many unique things about these glasses. So Tyler Henri is a designer out of Boca Raton, Florida. These are T Henri frames, and they're handmade in Japan, and that's one of the reasons why they're able to achieve all of these amazing things with their eyewear. So the master craftsmen that work on these glasses are the same master craftsmen that more than likely apprenticed at Masunaga, which was founded in 1905. There's just a lot of history, and all of this comes out of Sabai, which is in Fukui Prefecture in Japan, which is the eyewear capital of the world. The eyewear manufacturers in Sabai are widely known as the best of the best in the industry. So they turn out some of the best eyewear in the world. You'll see this with Masunaga, with Matsuda, you'll see this with Leisure Society, you'll see this with T Henri, Jacques-Marie Mage, and a number of other world-class artisan eyewear brands. So before founding T Henri eyewear, Tyler Henri used to procure rare sports cars for wealthy clients. One of the things he noticed is that while his clients had impeccable taste in shoes, in clothing, in watches, he watched in horror as someone put on a pair of Ray-Bans and drove off in a $1.6 million Porsche that he had just delivered. So that's what made him decide to start an eyewear company. T Henri is founded in Boca Raton, Florida. All of the eyewear is handmade in Sabai, Fukui Prefecture in Japan. So this frame is number 89 of 199 ever made. To my understanding, these are now sold out, at least in this colorway, worldwide. So these are the last ones that you're gonna see with this colorway. And certainly we've made them unique, what with the colors that we chose in terms of the transition, the gold flash mirror, and the blue tint. So this frame is a 52 eye size, an 18 nose bridge, and a 147 temple arm. So that 147 is kind of unusual. Usually you get like a 140 temple arm, 145 temple arm, 150 temple arm I've seen. I've never seen sort of the in-betweens, and T Henri is really famous for this. 147 is kind of an unusual length for a temple arm, but they go out of their way to make the frames proportionate and well balanced, and that's what you get. You get a 147 temple arm. So another thing that's interesting about these frames is there's this medallion, and that medallion is one of the logos for Mararo. This medallion is attached by a screw that you can see coming through the other side. And one of the other purposes the medallion serves is to act as a counterweight that puts more of the weight of the glasses behind the ear, because these are pretty thick, chunky acetate frames. And so having the frames be well balanced actually helps them to feel a lot lighter on the face than you would imagine based on how much acetate this is. And that's true of just about every T Henri frame that you look at. So another thing that I absolutely love about this frame, certainly, and T Henri in general, is the bridge fit. The bridge fit is absolutely amazing. It's one of the most comfortable frames you'll ever wear, and T Henri is really known for its bridge fit. So this particular nose bridge is what we call a saddle bridge. So you can see the saddle bridge right here, hopefully. And that's one of the things that make this so comfortable, but also the way that they sculpt the nose pads is absolutely unequaled in the industry, except for maybe Masunaga. Some other things that are interesting about this frame. First of all, it has a 9-barrel hinge. Hopefully you can see the hinge there. But it has a 9-barrel hinge, and I've literally never seen a 9-barrel hinge anywhere else in the eyewear world. So this is unique not only to T Henri, but to this model. I don't think anything else in the T Henri collection has a 9-barrel hinge either. And I think I read somewhere that these hinges are made in Germany, so you can imagine the precision with which these hinges are made. These hinges are really built like a tank. They're practically indestructible. So let me just tell you, if you break this hinge, it's your fault. The other thing is you get these 6 decorative screws that attach the hinge plate to the temple arm and to the frame front. So it would appear that the hinges themselves are completely replaceable. Each of these are like hex screws. Another thing that's interesting about these frames is the temple end lugs. So hopefully you can see the temple end lug there. And that is the Mararo logo that's on the end of the temple end lug. And the temple end lugs are in silver. I believe it's sterling silver on titanium, so that's pretty interesting. Another thing that you can notice is the T Henri logo on either side of the frames, and within the logo, that's not paint, that's actually enamel, so that's something that's going to last. It's something that's really fun about trying to film something on the side of the road is you get to try to talk and compete with an 18-wheeler that just drives by, so that's what I'm dealing with right now. Yeah. So, hey, what are you gonna do? First world problems, the life of an influencer, you know? So Daniel, I have to say thank you for making these frames for me. These are absolutely amazing. They have become my favorite frame, and I wear them most of the time now. I mean, the colorway is a dark, dark blue, almost purple, that reads almost black on the skin, but it's such a dark blue that it goes with just about everything. And when you set that deep purple color against the 24 karat gold, it just really pops. It's absolutely an amazing combination. And one of the best things that we decided to do was to put this gold flash mirror on the front, which is also amazing. So when I step out into the sun, it turns into like a full gold mirror. But then when I go back inside, the mirror kind of backs off a little bit. You can still see my eyes. And then behind that, we've got that gradient blue tint, which is just amazing. So these are definitely my favorite frames out of everything I have in my collection now. So, and I think they're everyone else's favorite frame as well, because I get a lot of compliments on these. One of the things that I've had to do, Daniel, is I've had to get used to people staring at me when I wear these frames. So a lot of people end up stopping and staring. Some people come up to me and compliment the frames, more so than anything else that I have in my collection. It's really kind of unusual. So Daniel, here's another mystery about these frames that maybe you know, maybe you can help me out on this one, or anyone in the audience if you guys know what this means. So on the left temple arm, there is a small TAW, and I'm pretty sure that's not going to show up on camera, but there's a TAW in capital letters at the bottom of the left temple arm, at the end of the left temple arm. I'm really not sure what that means. So if you know, add it to the comments. I'd sure like to know what TAW stands for or why it's there. So, what did you think of the T Henri Mararo Tirreno in the Capri colorway? It's a limited edition piece of Italian-inspired craftsmanship, transformed with a lens build that is completely personalized to my lifestyle, my vision, and my style. The glasses check every box: rarity, aesthetic, craftsmanship, functionality, and personality. So if you appreciate eyewear that has meaning, that has a story, this is the kind of piece that elevates not just your look, but your relationship with the craft itself. Let me know in the comments what you think. Would you wear a piece this bold? In what ways would you have customized these glasses? So that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.